So we're out here at Rocky Point Glade doing a prescribed burn today. These landscapes, like the glades and savannas and prairies, were historically burned by Native Americans, but also just burned naturally. The grasses will help carry wildfires through the trees. Because they burn, they have fewer trees, generally speaking, than a forest would.
Honeysuckle is a very invasive species, and that's one of the main reasons why we're doing that here, is to help cut down on the honeysuckle and prevent it from just taking the forest over. If the honeysuckle gets out of control, of course it would be years down the line, but it could damage a forest to where the trees would not come back. It would kill all the trees. And then it's good for other plants, wildflowers. It's good for beneficial insects, and even good for wildlife. And then it kind of helps open up the area so that the mountain bikers and the hikers have a more scenic area than just looking at honeysuckle as they're using the park and the trails.
It sparks the native plants we do want. The beneficial native plants are fire adapted, so they like being burned once in a while. They actually thrive after a burn. The dark soils will heat up, the dark covered soil will heat up in the spring a little faster, so they get a little jump start in the spring because the soil temperatures go up. It helps. It's a really inexpensive way to manage. We'll be out here with a crew for 1 day a year to manage 80 acres of land. And so it really doesn't take a lot of effort to manage land this way. Let the fire do the work for you. To do this though, it takes a lot of preparation. We don't just come out here on any day and light a fire and do it willy-nilly. Prior to the burn, we'll have a crew come out and they'll clear what we call fire lines. So it'll be an area of either green grass or bare soil between the spot we want to burn in and areas we don't want the fire to go. So we'll lay in really good fire lines, and basically it's a large circle around the area you want to burn. And we will look for the right wind direction, the right wind speed, the right level of humidity on that day. And when we have all the right conditions, we'll get a crew out here. We have 2 igniters, 2 people with torches that will ignite the fire. That they go in opposite directions around the circle. They start on the side of the fire where the wind is blowing into their faces as you look toward the inside of the circle. That's called a backfire. That fire moves very slowly, and it'll move into the circle as it burns up the leaves, the grass is the fuel to burn. As we go to the flanks, the sides of the fire, we slow down and wait for everyone to catch up. We didn't do the flanks, and that burns a little more vigorously because there's wind helping push it. And eventually we get down what we call the head fire. And that's where the wind is actually pushing the fire, and it gets you bigger flames, it moves faster. But by the time we do all that, it's a ring of fire, and the ring burns into the center and goes out. So we have complete control over where it's burning. Crews will walk behind the fire to catch any spots over. Occasionally have a little bit of a spot over, and they can put it out real easy with a rake. Days like today, mostly those crews don't do much at all. They just kind of watch because the fire, we have a very good wind today, very good wind direction, just everything we wanted. So it'll be very easy to burn. It's very exciting because this site has not been burned for a few years now, and so we're real excited to see this happen. We saw some encroachment by shrub honeysuckle in the years between burning, so we're going to eliminate a lot of honeysuckle out here this year.
Yeah, we have a lot of events up here. We have a lot of people using the park, mountain biking. We have the Go Ape over here. Currently, of course, this winter we're having Winter Magic up here. So it gets a lot of use, and it's a pretty high profile area, and so a lot of people are seeing it, so we just want the forest to be as healthy as possible for the citizens and the users of the park.